You're listening to Australia's national youth radio station, Triple J. For more info, go to triplej.net.au.
Salam alaikum, listeners. Hacks, Father Bob.
Yes, and to you too.
Tonight on the show, oh great, cheery stuff. The co-author of a book, Dying to Know,
I thought of that.
a guide to if you like you're going to die, or someone else is going to die.
Yeah. Was it noisy?
We also have
Oh, there's the microphone. I was talking into the drink bottle.
really,
Yeah, so it's the end of the year, isn't it?
yes,
Yes, thank you for that. Pointing that out to me.
yeah, that's a bit confusing. I don't
It
know
can
whether
be.
you've reached your age that when you do
Yeah,
things
like that,
listeners, if
see?
you don't know what just happened, Bob
Yeah.
was just talking and just not sitting anywhere near the microphone, somehow assuming that the microphone. And like 10 years ago, it would be ha 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 ha, but
Yeah.
now it's like, am I laughing at someone
Is
with
this
like
the last show
Alzheimer's
for
or
me?
something? Yeah. Is
Will
this like
Mark Scadden...
Chris Scadden?
Chris Scadden.
So in the same way that you don't know where to sit with the microphone, you don't know his name's Chris
No.
Scadden.
Will he bump me over the Christmas holidays for this? Anyway.
There's a whole thing in The Sopranos with confusion with old people about whether they're intentionally trying to be evil
Ooh.
or whether it's just because they're old and clumsy.
Yes, yes.
So I'm empathetic to your situation.
Thank you for that.
We've got Joseph... We don't have Joseph Bose. Is that his name? Bose?
Well, I
Beers?
thought it was boys.
And Rudolf Steiner. And an exhibition. We don't have them because they're all dead. But we have Allison Holland, who's curating an exhibition. We have Radio Salam Shalom.
Yeah, that's a goodie. I'm glad you got that. That's
gonna
Kyle Hanna.
Some Jewish Muslim radio show
Yeah, all Muslim Jewish.
over in... Why are you trying to, like...
In England.
The whole point
Bristol.
is to try to, like, ease possible ethnic tensions.
And
And,
I've
then
just-
as soon as I say it's a Jewish Muslim station,
I'm
you
just
go...
even it out.
You go Muslim Jewish, implying that somehow
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
Islamophobic
Yeah.
by putting the Jew ahead
Yeah,
of the Muslim.
yeah, I just thought I'd even it out, that's all. And they're from Bristol, which is in the UK.
And we have comedy trio Tripod
Yeah, they'll be good too.
doing religious song of the week.
Yeah, who are they?
You don't know who Tripod are? They're like on Rove McManus and
Yeah,
everything.
they're brilliant. It says here they're brilliant. They wrote it. The
One of
blurb.
the members has a spin-off band. I went to see them, and it's like,
Yeah?
well, no, it's a bit because it's like just say the rest of the band goes to his gig and sees a song he's done that's
Yeah.
of a good quality. They're like, well, why didn't you save that for Tripod?
Exactly.
I
So you say off the air, we must not talk about magnificent things because it must only be done on the air. Isn't it?
yes.
All right. And I've got my special thing here too.
What
I can't open it.
and what do you have there? It's,
That's David Beckham.
it's a Christmas
A
card.
Christmas card that said it's Christmas, so get yourself down the pub.
So who have you got that for?
For the Archbishop.
For the
I was gonna
Archbishop?
say, yeah.
You think that's
I
appropriate
thought.
for him?
Well,
He's
he'll see through it. And I got presents for you. Look at this.
what was I meant to bring a present?
No, but look.
Oh yes, it's a badge. That's a teddy bear.
And the teddy bear's name is...
Sudan. It's not that teddy bear from Sudan.
Exactly.
It's-
That's the one. That was
this is
going to
Muhammad
cause
the teddy
World
bear.
War III. And I managed to come in, this was Opus Dei, managed to get this out of Sudan.
Thank you for
Isn't it?
Muhammad the Sudanese teddy bear for
Yeah.
Christmas.
And I've got one for the Turkish producer.
Ah, she's got one too.
But she's got one that's Mother Christmas.
Yes.
After St. Nicolaus, who was in fact Turkish.
Ah, good point.
Thank you. This is not just a show that's full of frivolity.
The bones of St. Nicholas were, what's the story? Were stolen by the Italian
Thank
Catholics
you.
from Turkey.
Thank you.
And now some modern Turks want them back.
I'm just giving them back with this.
And the Italians say, well, most of you in Turkey are Mohammedans and you don't believe in Santa Claus anyway, so we're not going to give them back.
No, but we're all going the same way. Down the chimney.
Thank you very much, Father Bob. We'll talk more after this. About the thing that I'm a bit awkward about, feeling or contributing any humour to your forgetfulness. I never understood that ABC show that was on when I was a kiddie, and it was like a highbrow, sophisticated show, so it wasn't like some crass, transgressive, let's try to see how offensive we are. Mother and
Son.
Which was about a mother with Alzheimer's, and all the jokes were about how she's forgetful.
Yes.
And all the posh ABC viewers
Laughed
grown up
and
and go,
laughed.
oh,
Gary
sophisticated.
MacDonald, the son. Yes, that's interesting that you... Well, you keep saying to me, I look back too far. That's back. How far is that back? 20 years?
Why was that? Why did that get? Why wasn't that like offensive? Maybe because it felt offensive to me as a delicate little child to make fun of Ruth Cracknell like that.
Yeah, but you've got respect for superiors, for seniors. We Australians take everybody. They're either fit or they're not fit. When they're old or a baby in the creche.
Speaking of babies, I've had bad baby experiences this week. Do you remember a girl called Olivia Rousset? She does file stories, I think, for Dateline now, or Foreign Correspondent. Anyway, back 10 years ago, she was on a race around the world with me. This is pretty good. It's all leading up to somehow she has my child, isn't it? But it doesn't.
Oh,
but that's sort of what it sounds like. I just realised inadvertently.
Yeah, that could have been good.
Anyway, so unlike you, who just like veer in and out of 1,000 different friendships, like when I'm a friend, I'm a friend. So
for life.
I'm still Olivia Rousset's friend.
Yeah.
And she was down in Melbourne with her baby, not mine. And I went to see it. And I just...
What do you mean to see it in a cage or something?
Not in a cage. And I went over to another friend's house, Claudia Rowe, where she was staying, who was also on a race around the world. See how it's like... It was like a Brady Bunch reunion.
Yeah.
The three of us there, but some of them weren't
Something's
there.
brewing.
I kept on calling the baby it. I couldn't stop it, and I wasn't trying to be rude. I go, it's fantastic. Oh, look, it's really... And she was getting increasingly, and like... It starts off with a little laugh, like, ha, 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 John, it. But then it'd be like 25 minutes later, and the next thing I know, I've called her baby it again. And she's just getting more and more
Did you know
furious.
it was a he or a she?
Oh, it was a boy. I knew it was a boy.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Then we sat down and we ate, and Claudia Rowe put on quite a spread of, it was, the plates were square, like how sophisticated people have square plates,
nice.
and like pastas and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were even napkins embroidered.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
And I was wiping my nose with a napkin, and then I just it evolved into a blowing my nose.
Oh, that was nice, wasn't it?
And she said, "Oh, you can take that napkin home now." And I said, "Well, what? What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, you can't blow your nose."
No.
And I'm like, "Well, what's this distinction between
point?
wiping
Only the
your
mouth
and blowing your nose?
No,
Like, surely
you
you can
don't,
put it in
mate.
the washing machine." She just says it's disgusting.
It's finished.
And she made me go home with the napkin.
Yeah, immediately? Or did she send it to your room first?
And then I did this other faux pas, like, because Claudia Rowe, who's like a filmmaker, but like filmmaking these days, like it's not like, there's not too many people who are like signed up to do 3-picture deals with Paramount. So, she made it apparent that, she's looking for work or whatever, right? And I did notice her house was very clean, like sparkling, right? Because she's a bit... And I was thinking, I need my house clean. So I said to her, I go, you can
If you're
clean...
blowing your nose on the serviette, you'll need your house clean.
And I said, well, you can clean my house if you want to, like... And
isn't that a bit of seduction or something? No. Do they say this in the
and
3
she's going,
a.m.
what? And I say, I'll pay you to clean my house. And then it just went the wrong way, like it was somehow insulting and patronising, and she put all this reading into it that wasn't there, like I was implying she's such a failure as a filmmaker that she has to do things like clean my house, and it just went totally the wrong way.
Well, did you tell her she could bring it with her?
It. No, the baby's not. It's not her baby.
Oh,
Rousseau's
that's the
baby.
other. Well, they could get together. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? I mean, this love life of yours is quite...
There was no love life in there. There was just a freaking
to
turning up to a house.
No, there's more to it than that. Even I know that.
And I got to see, the good thing about seeing It, the baby, is that there were all these kiddies books, and I got to see things such as, the Mr. Man guy, Roger Hargrave. Is that how you say his name?
I'll say yes.
He's done like series that just have flopped. Like he's like tried to top the Mr. Man series with like this Timbuktu series, and just hasn't worked as well. You never hear about that. All you hear about is how he's going around puffing his chest out about Mr. Sneeze, Mr. Worry, Mr. Tickle, Mr. Smiley, but you never hear about his flop.
Mr. Flop.
Yeah, the Timbuktu series. With I didn't even understand. I was reading these books that were like about Timbuktu. He was trying to recreate the magic. I didn't understand what the premise was. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like, why are they? What? And they're like, yeah, I got confused. So I marched off in a huff.
You've never been to Timbuktu?
No.
Oh, I thought you would have been in Africa and Timbuktu, my son.
We'll talk more.
Well, we hope so. Let's
after
string this out.
I am John Safran, and joining us, author of Dying to Know.
And much, much more.
Andrew Knight.
Good morning.
One
Evening.
of Australia's leading authors.
Does it say that?
I'm saying it.
Oh, good.
Now, this is a very relevant book for me and Father Bob because, let's face it, everyone says, like, we get bad emails if I bring this topic up. But it's like a reality. Like, you're 73.
People say to me, well, at the end of 2010, I said, I won't be here, I'll be dead. I tell all the people who sign up for weddings, March the Sunday, I said, look, I'll get a substitute in case.
What?
But I don't,
but basically, at some point,
that's not very optimistic. 2010.
Oh well, you know what I mean.
He's not very healthy. He smokes cigars.
Yeah, no, that's going to do it.
But no sin. But he, on the other hand, Safran, you see, could be executed by somebody. See?
But about what should I know and what should Bob know about dying that we don't know now?
Oh God, I don't know. First of all, I'm not the author. There was a whole group of people, and it really came about because I didn't have a clue about it. And there was a spate of people shuffling off the coil.
Close to you, were they?
Yeah, and around and friends and things. And it was my ineptitude at dealing with it and with talking to people and with knowing what to do. And I was talking to Jane Chewson, who runs Pilot Light, and we said, well, we should get experts and hear and talk to people and just see if we can kind of introduce the topic. Because
what were you finding was lacking in your skills of dealing with either the relatives or even just the death yourself?
Well, lack of depth in myself would be the main reason. No, but it's also we just actually live in a society that doesn't think you die.
No.
I mean, when people used to go to church, there was at least a kind of governor on it. You kind of had a weekly reminder that you were mortal. But now we're probably living for the first time in history in an age where people don't want to die. Yeah. People actually, like my life's pretty damn good. I don't want to die. No. And you kind of relegate it, to the sidelines. So,
and I guess 100 years ago and further, we'll just more resigned to the fact that not only are you going to die, you're going to die young, and that's that. Like all those people who had in previous generations who were like, a couple of brothers and sisters died in childhood because that's just how it was.
Yeah. Well, I was reading some composer's life the other day, which gives you an idea of my retentive quality. I can't remember it. But lost 10 children. That's a Holocaust in a family. Yeah. And I'm just been researching a film script. And do you know what happened to people who died? This has got nothing to do with the topic. Do you know what happened to people who died in all wars previous to the First World War?
What?
They were left there.
They were left there.
To go back into the earth.
That's right. There was a company from Yorkshire who would come up and turn them into blood and bone. They were hired by the government to turn them into blood and bone. So it's kind of... Death was a part of it all then. Now it was something that was inevitable.
So what did you learn whilst getting this book together, rolling it together?
Oh, that everyone's terrified of it. And that everyone... To the point that... I mean, it's actually been kind of great. We've been talking to a lot of people that are actually dying and saying that they see people coming down the street and see them crossing the road so as not to talk to them. It's almost like we think we're going to catch death. It's like it's a virus, and It's absurd.
And are younger people more selfish? Not when I say younger people, I mean the people who aren't the very elderly dying, like in that we're a bit resentful that, you know, we have to go and look at them and...
Oh, yeah, it could... You've obviously done a lot of it in your time, but...
Bob, but people have been crossing the road to avoid Bob.
Yeah.
Totally independent of
Well,
their
remember in the
gear.
old days, the Roman Catholic priest would go to the hospital ward and say to him, excuse me, would you like me to see your mother? And she said, oh, God, no, because it'll kill her.
Yeah.
If the priest went in, the poor soul might think, if I'm that far gone, good night.
Do you think...
The priest was the harbinger of death.
Well, because the selfish secularists who think they know everything have decided to sideline religion, but do you think different religions actually have, you know, rituals that sort of help with the dealing of death?
Look, it's really hard to quantify grief because everyone grieves in a different way. But if you have a kind of ritualised grief, I suspect it does help. I think the problem for a secular society, and I'm as secular as they come, is that you have actually nothing official that you can go through. It is why you should, in fact, focus on a funeral. You should actually make them matter. You should make them as interesting and as colourful and as exciting as you can.
And you do all that in that book.
Well, we try to, yeah.
See?
You
It's a handbook.
You have to, like, sit, I think it's called Shiva, if you're Jewish. Like, you're not allowed to...
That's right.
For 7 days and stuff, you have to sit on a lower chair and...
Don't go
everything.
out.
If your parents have died.
If your parents.
And you have to dramatically rip your shirt.
Yeah,
at the,
like-
But you know what that actually tells you? It tells you that the event is significant.
Yes.
And in a secular society, what you're left with is, well, they've died, but and it feels
Was it
incredibly
significant?
significant, but there's nothing that I can deal with it.
Yeah.
So it was really just that kind of
So death
impulse.
is more of a problem for the living than it is for the dead,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, presumably, yeah.
Well, the person is dead for you.
Yeah.
What does this mean to you, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. But I do think that there's something about honouring people that are on the way out. I mean, my father had died of Alzheimer's and had a long, slow death, and I got to tell you, it was really boring.
Yeah.
Because it'd be, you would
How
sit
long?
there and
Long?
he took about 8 years dying.
Very selfish man, I can...
Incredibly selfish. It's also, but then, even within that, there were interesting things. I started finding out about his life because bits of actual memory would, my father was a very sort of stern and solid citizen and never talked about him. War years. But the moment he started getting Alzheimer's, he started living them out in terrible dreams. And
My half-Japanese friend was telling me, because her grandmother's going a bit dotty. Is that how you say it politely?
Well, you will say that.
Yes.
Way.
Just the grandmother suddenly popped out of nowhere. This whole thing that they've got a piece of land in Japan that was like bequeathed to them like 80 years ago or whatever, and she just absolutely never mentioned it. So my friend is going to go off to Japan soon.
Well, you're recommending we sit and wait beside people's bedside.
just in case they
hoping to God. What is this, a bloody lottery or something? Add fun to death. Don't just make it meaningful, isn't it? Come on, you'll have a whole new sport introduced into public hospitals.
They need
dear
some.
God.
I mean, one of the great things has been talking to palliative care nurses who are brilliant. Some of them are just amazing. But I remember when my mum died. She died young, and it was a terrible long night in a public hospital. And we went into my sister and I were exhausted and the whole thing. And my sister said, "Why don't we have a cup of tea?" It was 3 a.m. in the morning, and we went into some kitchen room and started making a cup of tea. And a matron came in and said, "We appreciate your mother's just died, but we do have rules about the tea room." And we just broke out laughing. I mean,
now, what's your ruling? I need an expert ruling on this. Just say there's been a tombstone planted.
sure.
And it's all been engraved, so it's signed, sealed, and delivered. And someone's name that you think should have been on there is not on there. Because, you draw the line somewhere. There's like brothers, and then is it aunts, and then is it cousins?
Lovers.
And
if you think that the guy who was in charge of the tombstone got it wrong, are you allowed to go back there and add an extra name? Maybe just in like...
That's in the next book.
It's in the next book. Father Bob, what do you think? What's the Catholic ruling? Or your ruling?
My Bobby Waffle?
Yes. Would you, if someone came to you and said...
Stick 'em on.
Yes.
Stick him on.
Yeah.
More names than merrier. I mean, look at If you look at the production crew on a television program,
Yes,
it's
and
enormous.
the credits.
The credit.
Just bang 'em on.
And it doesn't matter. And put on somebody else who never existed as well. Make it into a mystery.
Yes, exactly.
A code. How much is that book?
I don't know, about 1995, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
And it's available everywhere.
It's starting to be,
including
yeah. It's already sold 15. It's already kind of sold out. 15,000.
That's very
It's a
cool.
winner, John. John,
Yeah,
it's a winner.
Wow.
It's largely, honestly, because people don't even think about
Is
it.
is that shipped or sold?
No, that's sold.
Okay, no, yeah, sorry.
You look
interesting.
dubious.
So all
yeah.
those boys who were dead in the car over the Westgate Bridge. Now not much seems to be available unless they're of Greek or some Middle Eastern background, where they have got rituals.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Whereas if a few white Aussies
Yeah.
were killed,
Yeah.
you get the usual stuff. He was so good, he was kind, he played football, but that's about. There's no ritual available.
No, but also you can invent your own ritual. I mean, my father's funeral, my brother, who's looks up people's bums sort of thing, gave as the reading a discussion on the 10 contributory factors causing chronic diarrhea. Largely because he said my father would be genuinely interested in this topic. And most funerals go.
I've had great funerals of young people where I've tried to talk the parent, especially the father, into running the service.
Yeah.
So that I'm there only as the manager.
Oh, good on you, Bob. Like, they don't have enough.
Yeah, I'm just going to have
collapsing
finish
and-
this.
Yes, go.
No, because I say that
charge for
you've got
this?
a full church and this father stands up and says, "Welcome to my son's funeral." And I'm saying that on behalf of blah, 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 blah. Now, it sets the tone for the whole funeral.
Yeah.
He's endorsed. He's talked it up a bit. You see what I mean? Otherwise, you leave it to the ritual, like our ritual was Dies Irae, Dies Illa, that day of anger, that day of wrath. See, we're all going to slip into a black hole.
Did you find Catholic masses were useful?
Oh, not particularly, because in fact it was mathematical. See, I mean, if you had to say this to get, it was a bit, to me, too much like the River Styx.
Yeah.
And Charon, the boatman, who you gave a few coins, and he took the deceased over to the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't like that. I'm sure there's something less horrible going on.
I once went to Bob's church where
Yeah.
there was the death of a woman who was a mad Collingwood supporter.
You're going to make this up, aren't you?
Stop me when it's not true, Bob. And then at the end of it, Bob had contacted the dove people, where you can hire a dove to release.
Oh, yeah.
And he contacted them to see whether they do magpies as well as doves, and they said no. So then Bob got them to come down anyway with just a doves, and then had little blue and white ribbons.
White ribbons.
Yeah, black and white ribbons. And then he released. I thought, Bob, nice thought, but as soon as you can't get the magpies, maybe turn off the idea. And then because they provided them complimentary. He like in the middle of this sort of like sorry, he like gives a
announcement.
plug.
If
Like
you would
doesn't
like
add.
these
He
at
doesn't
your
add in the
funeral.
middle of the funeral. if you want, but
The
you know.
church police is listening to this.
Yes.
They'll have a field day. Yeah. Because it's supposed to be now, especially for us, neat, tidy, Roman, and have nothing to do with real life. No putting life back into death. Yeah. It's supposed to be all about you better watch out. Da, 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 da.
Andrew Knight, co-author of Dying to Know. Thank you very much for imparting your wisdom.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Pleasure to
Jane
impart it.
Tewson.
Triple J, I'm John Safran. That is Father Bob. The other fight I got with over at Claudia Rose's place was because there's this baby there, and as soon as there's a baby in any situation, the conversation seems to segue to abortion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Truly.
So
Why, a live baby sitting there and everybody wants to talk about abortion?
This is the you know how I like throwing up like dilemmas or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is one it's like, how did I not think of this one before? And I think I heard someone else say it, so I think I've just nicked it from someone else. But you know how like You know how like progressive lefty pinkos are like, oh, the woman's right to choose, and she should have the right to choose, and so it's up to her, it's her body, and blah blah blah, like that. So you say to them, if some progressive left-wing pinko is doing that argument, you say, oh, does the woman have a right? If a woman wants, or the family just wants a male children, do they have the right to abort the child if it's going to be a girl? So the women have the right to abort the child if it's going to be a girl.
But is that the point?
What do you mean is that the point? What do you mean is that the point?
Is that the point? The abortion debate has always been only on, and you're extending it, aren't you, and saying, well if it's valid for that, it must be valid for the other.
Yes, like what? Why isn't it valid? Don't
be selectively abortive.
Yes. And then both Olivia Rousset and Claudia Rowe
folded,
being kind of lefties and stuff like that. They both were, oh, that's different. Oh, that's different.
Oh, it is different.
Yeah, there was
Thank you for introducing me to that.
But it throws them out. It throws them off. It's like that conflict of political correctness.
Yes. Thank you for that.
You might want to use that one in church.
Well, I try not to talk about abortion, John.
By the way, abortion is the one. You know how Bob tries to really position himself as the modern progressive, hey, I like everyone priest. You go to abortion and he's like very old school.
You've this boy on the guest book, Mirko or somebody, who set me up, said, "Why don't you get a spine, you old fool?" Because last week Devaney mentioned myths and the virgin birth, and you said that you were an atheist, and went on with the.
No one knows what you've.
They do. The guest book said that the discussion was on atheists and myths.
Yes.
And I said I am an atheist and I believe in myths. And this poor boy says, you're a bloody idiot. Why don't you stand up for your religious convictions? And I don't understand that. I don't understand why you've got to fight with people over religious convictions. Anyway, goodbye.
Now, did you see in the newspaper a few days ago this headline, which I am turning to right? Google for a murder clue. Homicide detectives are hoping an internet satellite camera could help solve the grisly murder mystery of a woman in Springvale in Victoria. And because apparently there was a Google Earth van parked in the area during the week taking satellite. Aren't they getting a bit lazy, the police, that they were like what?
Of course they'll rely on any source of additional assistance, especially electronic.
It's like, what, they're going to Wikipedia for clues and stuff. I think they should just get out from behind that computer.
And get their hands dirty and their feet wet.
Yeah, what do they used to call the feet? The foot?
Flatfoots.
No, flatfoots and...
Flat feet. Plods. Mr. Plod, they called him. Sergeant Plod.
Yes.
Was there another one? For Scrabble purposes. Yeah?
Do you know any policemen?
I know a lot of police. I did know a lot of policemen.
I used to be very confused when I was in my younger days, when you'd like go to a party, like a uni party or whatever around that age, and there's like a person has friends who are policemen and they're there at the party. And what does that mean? And they're out of uniform. But what does that mean? Does that mean...
They will arrest you if they find you in possession of a prohibited substance.
Yes, exactly that. Because you can imagine at university parties around there.
There would be some, I think, yes, prohibited substances.
So what do the police do?
Well, I don't know. I've never...
Because that must be like...
The moral position
that
of
must
the
be like
the
first moral kind of slippery slope into corruption that most policemen face.
Yeah, what do you do in your social life?
Yes.
If your mother, in fact, lights up a joint at her 93rd birthday, are you not bound to call 000 or 999 and have the wagon...
911 if you're Flavor Flav.
And have the old girl taken away and make a speech in public and say, Mother, I know you're 93, but I am duty-bound by the motto of the Victorian Police Force, which is, as you know, Tenez
be prepared.
le droit. No, that's the Scoucher fool. Uphold the right. What's right, or something like that. And then his mother is whisked off down Churchill Avenue in Braybrook. See how these things can... You and your bloody babies and its and all that, I can go a little bit psycho like that too. So now I've got my mother dragged away at 93 years of age, having smoked a joint because I'm a policeman. Okay, look, let's talk to somebody intelligent. You know, who are we talking to?
We'll have more after
Joseph
this.
Boyce and Rudolf Steiner.
This is Triple J. That is Father Bob. I'm John Safran. Joining us is the curator of an exhibition that was inspired by Rudolf Steiner, who's the guy,
World famous educational innovator.
but a bit controversial because he kind of mixes his theories, things that are rational with things that are spiritual.
The more, the better.
And he influenced an artist called Joseph Boyce, and to talk to us about this exhibition, we have Allison Holland. Hello.
Hi, John. How are you?
You're nervous.
I'm really bad at getting the first hello out of guests.
She's nervous. She's been to other interviews. That's what I reckon. But so treat her gently.
We will. Don't worry. Why? Don't be paranoid. We're not out to get anyone. Seriously, I promise you. So
We're
don't
here
worry.
to learn.
I know you had a bad experience with some other interviews that you don't want to talk about. But this will be fine.
What do you want to learn about?
Well, first of all, why don't you tell us all about Rudolf Steiner?
Well, the exhibition's about two people, Rudolf Steiner and Joseph Boyce, and really I think that the main focus for the NGV, or the National Gallery of Victoria, is Joseph Boyce. But looking at the many influences in his life, we've decided to focus on one, which is Rudolf Steiner and his philosophies.
And what are those philosophies?
Boyce was very inspired by Rudolf Steiner's idea about the agency of the individual and social change. So Boyce has a manifesto that he wrote and published as a work of art, and it was called The Appeal to the Alternative. And in it, he focused on the crises that were happening in the world after the Second World War. They were ecological and political and social and economic. And he offered theories about how people could, from the grassroots, work upwards to change the world around them and to use their creativity as a way of bringing about that change.
Now, do you personally have a take one way or the other on this whole Steiner stuff?
One way or the other.
Well,
What's that supposed to mean?
Do you think you go, oh no, he said a lot of valid things that would help us in our lives, or because there are people who are just quite furious about Steiner and think he
is very controversial, and so is Joseph Boyce, very controversial, and it's always good to have some challenging ideas thrown out there to get a bit of discussion stimulated, and that's one thing that both men really enjoyed, was communicating with people in a group environment and discussing ideas and, making people think. And so this is an exhibition that does exactly that, makes people think about art, because when you go in there, it's not your beautiful painting on the wall. It's much more about ideas and also challenging the ideas of what is art and what it is to be an artist.
Now, so he adds that dimension to Steiner's teachings, so does he?
Well, Steiner...
Because he believes art is that powerful influence in society, which we know, but we don't all
That's right.
practice.
Yes.
But see, I'm interested in Rudolf. Why? Because I think recently there's been a conflict somewhere about the opening of a Rudolf Steiner school.
Yes, that would be in Victoria.
But why? What's the?
Because it's like if it's a school that gets public money, and that's meant to be to schools that aren't religious. It's like, at what point do you say a school is religious? Is teaching
it's got to be religious.
Steiner education
Can't be
enough?
philosophical. It's got to be religious, has it?
Well,
so these are private schools. Do you know anything about the Rudolf Steiner school system?
I know a little bit about the way the education approaches teaching, but really the focus for the National Gallery of Victoria is on the art.
Course. Thank you.
Is on the art.
Thank you. That's discipline. Thank you.
I guess so. It's a religion show. That's why we're
that's
interested.
Discipline. I like that. She was very nice about it, but she was telling me this is not on my agenda. All right, thank you.
But just closing up on your
Yeah, but you're not
thought
the-
about the schools.
It doesn't matter.
Apparently,
I will close it off because I'm satisfied that that's not on the agenda.
We could open it
Couldn't
up
we?
and talk about
No.
how has spirituality influenced creativity over the centuries.
yeah, that's
we?
good. Why didn't we think of that one? So, how do you reckon
And
like
blackboards
spirituality
feature.
has influenced creativity over the centuries?
Well, I think if you go to the National Gallery of Australia, you come across many, many different belief systems all on display under the one roof. I mean, you have the ancient Egyptian beliefs, you have the Krishna show. You interviewed my colleague
that's
Carol
right,
Keynes
yeah,
a couple of
yeah,
weeks ago,
yeah.
and
So, all nice to her.
yes, you were nice to her.
So, why did you come in here so like going like what have you heard?
Oh, I've listened to you two rabble on Sunday
no.
evenings,
See, let me
yeah.
notice
So
that.
But haven't you noticed that we only gutlessly do it as soon as the guest leaves? And
yes,
never,
that's
and never
right.
in
So
front
I
of their
should,
face.
I should
You're
watch my
waiting.
back, shouldn't I?
Now, it has to be... Do you get a lot of people looking at this art by Joseph Beuys and saying, why is that good enough to be in a gallery?
Well, it's interesting you should say that because, like I said, Joseph Beuys really challenged the idea of what it was to be an artist and what art was. He believed that, art was a part of life. And so his work is not, as I said, like the beautiful paintings or sculptures that you might normally see in an art gallery.
Lots of squiggly lines and diagrams.
That's right. He used the blackboard as a way of communicating his thoughts to the people around him. So he would draw as he was speaking. It was very much about the process, and he was one of the instigators of performance art. And so he would go into a gallery and spend maybe 10 hours there, and people would come and go and listen to him talk, and he would ask them questions and listen to their ideas, and all the time he would be working on the blackboards.
On the blackboard.
Yeah.
Do you think it's valid? Do you think an intelligent person could just go, no, his stuff just isn't good enough and it be valid? Or do you think that person's just being totally closed-minded and doesn't understand anything?
I think that we're constantly challenged by what the borders of art are and what the borders of creativity are too. So, in his time, he was very controversial, and even today, he is very controversial. But there's a lot of performance artists now that have been influenced by him. And
So he's to blame, is he?
that's right. And in the last major exhibition that we had at the National Gallery of Victoria, which was the Guggenheim show, we had two artists in particular that were influenced by Beuys. One was Felix Gonzalez Torres, who had the little licorice lollies that he invited people to take away and to suck and think about the war, the first Gulf War, and the impact that had on society, which was a very Beuysian thing to do. And the other one was Maurizio Catalan, who actually made a small wax model of himself in a felt suit, which Beuys was quite known to wear. And he was
So this
talking...
is social sculpture.
Social sculpture, yes, that's right.
Now, set up near the National Gallery of Victoria is the Spiegel tent.
That's right.
And I've noticed that, and that's like this tent where like there's performances in. I've noticed that people, when they're lining up for the Spiegel tent, they kind of go onto the National Gallery property and sometimes even sit on sort of like the brickwork there. Does that annoy the National Gallery of Victoria? No. Like, are they like leaving junk and stuff like that there?
No, I think they might be throwing some coins into the moat, but that's okay. No, we don't mind.
But they pick up the rubbish that's left behind by the people waiting in the lines, don't they? The Spiegel tent people.
Oh, I'm sure it's very well cared for, that area. Yes.
I'd watch. I think they're... Anyway, whatever. I'll leave it up to you. You run the gallery, not me. And how long will this exhibition be there for?
Till February the 17th.
No excuse, therefore, not
to go and see it. That's right. When you've got an idle day over Christmas, yes, go in and have a look.
And lots of blackboards.
Lots of blackboards, yes. There's one main work by Beuys which has 100 blackboards in it, and it's called Directive Forces. And then there are what we call blackboard drawings, which are actually black paper and chalk, which are done by Rudolf
I
Steiner.
wonder how he'd go with the new interactive whiteboards.
Do you have the
Yes.
Do you have the dolls that don't have any eyes or noses or faces on them? Because the Steiner schools believe that that's stifling the child's creativity, because the child should imagine what the face looks like.
Well, this is not really about Steiner education. This is about
Do you
the philosophies of Steiner
do you
influencing
teach
Beuys.
people who come to the galleries that elves, is it elves or
Elves,
not
elves.
really exist?
Elves.
That's
I think
what-
it's gnomes, actually.
Gnomes. That's
gnomes.
right. Oh, you see,
I
no,
did
I
it.
led you. You see, I tricked you like a good lawyer into that. I intentionally got it slightly wrong, so you'd have to cough up that, so everyone would know I wasn't making it up. Do you believe that gnomes really exist as the Steiners tell us?
You know, when the National Gallery of Victoria employs people, they don't ask them to
Thank you.
believe in the artists that they're curating their exhibitions on.
Well, we
Whenever-
don't even
whenever
have
we
to
talk
believe
about-
in Vishnu if we're
No, that's
going
right.
through, isn't
Or
it?
Krishna,
Thank
or-
you.
Yeah, but that's different. That
Buddha
actually
or anyone
exists.
else.
Now, every time we talk about Steiner education,
We're not
people,
talking about Steiner.
people-
The lady has just told us we're not.
Why do you get bullied by the guests?
No, but the guest is. That's
do
a
you get
beautifully
caved in?
disciplined statement I've heard for years.
This is some of the problems with your interview technique.
The
kind
boy
of
in the book
flushed
said,
out.
"Have a get
you
some
think that if the guest
steel
says
for
something,
your
you have to go
backbone."
along with it. Like you have to be broadly polite, but you don't have to.
hospitable.
Yes,
And rigorously intellectually honest.
yes.
So
Thank you
I find
very.
your questioning of Allison offensive.
Thank
I'd
you
like
very
to
much.
publicly in national radio dissociate myself from that line of questioning.
Thank you very much, Allison.
And thanks for the
Holland,
free tickets, Allison, for me.
curator. Did he get free tickets?
It's
Oh,
a free
just
exhibition, so he can have as many free tickets as he wants.
Thank you very much,
He can
Allison
bring all his
Holland,
friends.
curator from the National Gallery of Victoria.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Father Bob.
This is Triple J. I am John Safran. That is Father Bob.
Yes.
Coming up later on the show, we're going to have comedians,
Lots of comedians.
Tripod, and they'll be singing a comedy song. I just remember when I was young and I was listening to the radio, if I was hearing that there was some kind of musical comedy thing, that was enough for me to kind of hold on and hang on, if you know what I mean. It just seems spruced with sort of liveliness and stuff.
yeah.
Now, you recently
What? I've done nothing?
tried to catch up with me on to out Michael Chabon me by reading Michael Chabon books.
Yeah.
And you read your 9,000-page Cavalier and Clay.
Oh, God, yes.
Trying to outdo me. I'd done the Yiddish Policemen's Union. You've read that one too, haven't you?
Yes.
But
What
unbeknownst
have
to
you got another one?
bought a new one during the week, a new one.
Oh,
Gentlemen.
my God, I haven't seen... Give it to me. That's a lovely presented book, isn't it? Gentlemen of the Road.
And I'm
Is
already...
this the latest?
I'm already 45 pages ahead of you, Father Bob. You are once again behind.
I'll get that this afternoon after I've finished How Starbucks Saved My Life. You see what I mean?
What's that book about, Father
That
Bob?
book's about how one man who had it all lost everything, then found it again at Starbucks.
But like what? Like,
He
I
went
didn't
broke.
say. I didn't say read the
64
blurb.
years of age.
Yes, he went. How did he go broke?
He went broke because he was getting older in the business, and they wanted a fresh face, and they simply said, "Michael Gates Gill."
This wasn't. What business did he run? Though?
Famous, that Thompson, Walter Thompson, or Thompson, what did he call that marketing firm, that global firm, that whatever it's called firm. Anyhow, he was there, and then he got bumped. He was diagnosed with a slow, etc., etc., etc. And lo and behold, one day he's sitting in Starbucks, and the girl says from the table next to him, "Would you like a job?" And that opened up a whole new world, ladies and gentlemen.
Was he really? I know you say he went broke or whatever, right? But there's going broke and going. For example,
Almost stone broke because he...
okay, fine. But if he, for example, had a house,
No, gone to his wife. Divorced.
so okay, well that's
Children
the real
all
deal.
gone. Still like the daddy.
You know how all these sea changes people
Yeah,
who are like, oh,
no.
I'm going to give it all up.
House
and
is
it's
gone.
like, but they've still got a couple of properties.
House is gone, and he found with Starbucks, for example, the benefits that he received by being an employee at Starbucks, this franchisee,
Yes.
a Starbucks person, in fact, were better than he got from his Walter Thompson firm of high flyers. Isn't that interesting?
Can you unpackage me psychologically? Because I've always I have this instinctive reaction to certain things, and I don't understand why. And one of them is if I'm at a Starbucks and I'm in the line, and they've got like a rack, like a display, and there's like CDs there, right?
Ooh.
Like about 7 different CDs of artists. If I wanted one of those CDs. Like if I was like, oh no, I really do want Paul Simon's
Yes.
bongo hits or whatever.
Yes.
I would be too embarrassed to pick it up from the line in Starbucks and go to the front and buy it there. I'd have to like go to a record shop or buy it.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, because you only expect one thing of Starbucks, maybe, and that is to
to
drink.
Maybe it says something about like I'm the type of person who's such an idiot that
he has to buy these things. It's
for
like
Starbucks.
it's like buying a DVD or something at the supermarket.
Yeah, that's the other
I'd never
thing.
pick that out and go to the thing because that means I'm desperate. Desperate.
Crowded House's greatest hits are on the counter at BP when I
But
go
you
to
wouldn't
pay
buy
for
it there.
petrol. No matter how much I want a Crowded House's
all right.
greatest hits, I would not buy it there. I'd be like
No.
embarrassed in front of
Yes.
this stranger
Yes.
who I don't even know, who I'm not
All
going
right.
to see again.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
explain it to me.
You don't want to be seen to be desperate in public.
But
That's
why
what
am
I'm
I
saying.
desperate? Why does that make me desperate? I
But
think it
because you
announces
can
to the
do
world-
without it. You can do without. You know that.
No, I think it's because I think the guy behind the BP doesn't understand that I really do have taste in discrimination.
Yes, but on this,
And on this one occasion,
You're lapsing.
There's an intersection of me wanting Crowded House's greatest hits and it being there at the BP, but it's not like I'm an idiot who's just been brainwashed into it. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand that. Tell me, which one do you want? Venti extra dry cappuccino, double tall latte, grand sugar-free vanilla skim latte. Well, this list is so great, I'd be too nervous to go in myself. And the rules that they have for their staff, I think, are marvellous. Not only must you be able to take the money and give the change back, you must also engage the customer, the partner. That's what they are, in conversation. Isn't that lovely? I like all that.
You shouldn't work at Starbucks. You should work at Gloria Jean, who used to have a really good slogan. It said, away from the daily grind, or not get away from the daily grind. Get away from the... that's pretty clever. Like, I'm not taking the piss. That is pretty clever. Get away from the daily grind, and the grind being...
Yeah, the coffee, of course. We're not silly.
Okay, anyway, but there, they're... People who are high up in Gloria Jeans are also part of your friends.
The exclusive brethren.
No, not the exclusive
Who?
brethren, the other ones.
The-
Not the Scientologists, not Opus
My
Dei.
other friends, the Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, not the Jehovah's
Mormons.
Witnesses. You're getting there. Another one.
The Pilgrim's Progress.
No, the ones, the Hillsong.
Hillsong. What is this? This is a bloody interactive goddamn quiz show or
Anyway,
something.
people who are like high up at Gloria Jean are also high up at Hillsong.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have like, when they have their little fundraisers, like 50 cents from a coffee
Yeah.
goes towards, and it's called
Helps the poor.
It's called the Mercy, or
Yeah,
something. It's some group,
yes.
and basically that's like a group that sort of
Helps
run
the
by
poor.
Hillsong.
Yeah, exactly.
So you should go work there.
Yeah, all right. Well, I have enough trouble working at my own thing, out touting my own wares yesterday with 300 people who claimed to be the Franchise Council of Victoria. And I had to sing and dance in front of them. And one bloke yelled out, "What about the pole dance?" What cheeky boys at 7 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? You know?
I'm confused. By the way, I somehow tuned out at the start of that last particular story.
Yeah.
And then I just started paying attention as soon as you said
Mentioned
pole
pole
dance.
dancing. That's right.
Yes.
I said, I'm out like
It was
an
a bit
old...
like sex. Now that I have your
Ah,
attention.
sex, I had. That's
now
what
that
I
have your
mentioned it for.
attention.
You see what I mean? The poor old man's out at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm looking at a mob that looks all right in a suit and tie and everything, but in fact may well just have staggered back in from the Spearmint Rhino. Or the Peppermint, is it, or Spearmint Rhino? There's a club there. What is it? She'll know. Sir Pill. And they're all sitting there in front of us saying, "This is our Christmas, thank God you're here, breakfast." And I've got to stand up for 5 minutes and expose myself, so to speak, which means I have to tell them about the poor. Now, this goes over like
Are you
lead balloon.
allowed to go to a strip club? I mean, I know it's...
allowed to go. What's this allowed to go? What are we, robotic creatures?
You're a mentor, right? So you have to, like, give guidance. Like, are you allowed... Or is it, like,
I'm not a
exploiting the women
mentor.
or something?
Of course it is flesh. He was right, that bloke in Sydney. What's his name? That sheikh.
Sheikh Hilali?
Yes,
It's
plates
cat
of meat lying out in the sun, you know, and approached by prowling cats. He said it's absolutely disgraceful.
I'm confused by your metaphor now. It's like... So the people
Cats.
who go to the strip club are like the cats.
The cats.
Yes.
I think so. I think those blokes are a bit... Look, I'm not going to say anything because I'll end up with a fatwa. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have one of them on me. Thank you very much. I withdraw any semblance of criticism about the brothers and sisters who follow a way of life that tends to say, how am I going to get out of this? Plates of meat and... Thank you. Don't eat meat on Friday. That's what I meant to say. Thank you very much. Can we get on to something that's highly intellectual, for God's sake?
Triple J's Hottest 100 will soon be cooking in the pot for January's Australia Day serving. So get thinking about what you want to chuck in and vote for as part of the hottest music menu of the year. Triple J's Hottest 100. Voting starts January 1.
Sunday Night Safran.
Thank you, Father Bob.
Thank
this
you,
is
sir.
Triple J. I'm John Safran. Now, Father Bob, you clearly don't know how to run a religious radio program.
No.
So we've brought in some guidance, a mentor, if you will. We've got Kyle Hanna, who's station manager of Radio Salam Shalom in the UK. Hello, Kyle, are you there?
Yes, I am, and I think maybe more a tormentor than a mentor, but thanks for the compliment.
Now, what is Radio Salam Shalom?
Radio Salam Shalom at the moment is the UK's only Jewish and Muslim broadcast service.
What? So all the shows are about either Muslim or Jews or both?
Yes, essentially that's exactly what it is.
Wow! Didn't they all like run out of things to talk about after about like day 3 or something? It's like, oh yeah, we've done the whole matzah thing. Dreidels. We'll do dreidels.
Well, I think what they've done. You always find that there's so many different days going on and so many things to talk about. I think at the moment the conversations would have been moving from talking about Hanukkah and candles to talking about the Hajj and pilgrimages. So there always does seem to be something to talk about. But I think the way we've looked at it is because the people are given an atmosphere where they can actually kind of get on and be friends. I suppose it's like saying, do friends ever run out of things to talk about? And in most cases, when they do, there's always a very comfortable silence, and when there is, we drop in some Jewish or Muslim music.
Silence, Father Bob. Let's try that one next time.
We
run out of
must
things
try
to
that
talk
for an
about.
hour and a half.
We've never thought of that one before. We seem to go into some hyperdrive when we run out of things to. Anyway, now is there some sort of need for this sort of station in the UK? What's the environment there? Is there are there Jews and Muslims throwing rocks at each other?
Or matzos.
Or matzah balls.
Yeah, I would say at the moment, is there a need for a service? Well, the fact that there hasn't been one meant that there was certainly a place for it. And we saw that about 2 years ago. The Muslim festival and the Jewish festivals of, you had, I think it was Rosh Hashanah and Ramadan happened on exactly the same day. And with those, days being basically held at the same time, the groups who were kind of getting together thought, hey, why don't we kind of make a thing of this? Let's carry on doing stuff together. Because here in Bristol, as across the UK, there's a lot of interfaith stuff going on, as I'm sure there is across the world. But the thing is, most people don't kind of realise it. They always think that it's all about, whenever groups get together, there's conflict and rocks being thrown. And,
I hate people who stereotype things like that. Now, have you come across, how long has this been operating for?
We kicked off at the beginning of February this year.
Oh, cool. Now, has there been any kind of conflicts? I know you just said you really hate it when everyone talks about conflicts, and somehow I've brought it up already. But aren't there never the twain shall meet issues?
I think what we're doing is we're finding that, when you give people the chance to actually sit together and get on and say, look, we give them very simple guidance. We say, don't swear, don't blaspheme, and don't get libelous on anyone. And for the rest of it, just be adult. We found that when people do start, making room for each other, treating each other with mutual respect in conversations, you discover that people will, when they see the other person as, a real person, someone that they are now becoming friends with, they actually are more careful with each other in many ways. And when they approach topics that could be contentious or controversial, they'll talk about different aspects or different angles on the thing, but, it'll never come to blows. No, it'll just come to interesting discussions.
I like it when occasionally you hear about things where the Jews and the Muslims agree on something and they work together, but it's something where it's being discriminatory against someone else. So it's like the rabbis and the imams get together to try to close down the gay festival. And it's like, yeah, they got together, but we're all... And the other one, it's like, finally, it's sort of like Israel and the Muslim world, they got together to deny the Armenian genocide. So sometimes people do get together, but it has this knock-on effect.
Well, I think the important thing is, in many cases, when you look at most people out there, when they think of Jews or Muslims being together in anything, they think, well, the only reason they're together is because they're arguing or coming to blows. And we just thought, yeah, let's tell people that, they are getting together, talking about things, sometimes agreeing on things, sometimes disagreeing on things. And people get together all the time, and you and your friend might get together and discuss football. You might be from different teams, and someone from a different team might feel that you're excluding them, but at least, there are two people getting together, and I think that's got to be worth something.
What's the effect in the city of Bristol, Kyle, to this programme? Is it spreading goodwill amongst more people?
They're very proud because, it's the only city in the UK which has had this, and I think Bristol's interesting because you don't have big ghettos of, as you find in big cities like London. When I say ghettos, I mean areas that are specifically seen as Jewish or Muslim or, let's say, Bangladeshi. It's much more of a, because the smaller city is more of a melting pot.
Where is it?
Kind of get on. Bristol is in the southwest of England.
Thank you.
Just on the border of Wales.
Thank you.
It's around about, they reckon it's the second best city in the UK to live.
Thank you.
Kyle Hanna, thanks for giving us your mentorship.
Not or tormentorship, yes.
Or tormentorship.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mate.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Yes.
Jed Kurtzel and Chet Condon are Sydney's The Mess Hall, and the two have released their second album, Devil's Elbow, bursting at the seams with gutsy, bluesy rock and roll. It's so good, we had to make it our feature record. Devil's Elbow by The Mess Hall, our new Australian feature album. All this week on Triple J.
Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
This is Triple J. I'm John Safran. That's Father Bob. Our second last show, I believe. Is it one last week, next week?
Yeah, I thought...
Hey, you can't complain we don't work hard. All the other regulars.
Oof.
Yep. But we keep on turning up.
3AW rang up yesterday
and
said Neil Mitchell is on holidays, so we would like to talk to you about poker machines and gambling. But unfortunately, I sat on my phone and it went out of action. So when they said they'd ring, they got nothing.
What, you ran out of batteries?
No, the phone never went off. And then I looked at it and had this number 2 up in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
See, and I didn't know what number 2 meant, and it simply meant the bloody thing was off the air. So the boy must have rung at 9:30.
Oh, was this like your little opportunity where you could have become...
I could have got on again.
Mainstream and all that stuff.
Like with my friend, Tim Costello. Always talking about gambling, and I was going to say beautiful thing like, let them gamble, but at the same time you, who are making money out of the gambling, must in fact provide them also with opportunities for better housing, better healthcare, and better educational facilities. Ta-da! Beautiful. Look at that. More Bobby Waffle on demand at a chemist near you.
You could have been a contender.
You're
reminding me of what's his name? Craig
Huckabee. Have you read any of Huckabee's stuff?
Mike Huckabee.
This politician of the US of A, for God's sake. What a magnificent name.
Mike Huckabee. He's a Republican candidate, and he did a
Turned
advertisement with Chuck Norris. You should YouTube it. It's very interesting.
He's the bloke who says, yes, if only we all turn to Jesus, everything would be right in the US of A.
He's the confusing one we're talking about to our political friend a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly.
Because he's a Baptist minister, but his past has been a bit liberal in certain areas.
Right.
So everyone's a bit confused.
Well, he fell straight into my lap
funny.
this week because somebody sent me an email of his latest speech, and I found that they said, hey, can you identify this bloke? Because they meant me to say, oh, it sounds a bit like myself. But then I read it further and I thought, dear God, thank God it wasn't myself.
I can't help but notice I'm just flicking through...
the Jewish news, ladies and gentlemen. which is a most unlikely thing for him to be doing.
And it's about the 83rd week in a row that they've had a story or something that's can be construed as them being sympathetic towards homosexuals.
Yeah.
Like, you know, unlike your Catholic magazines, like talking about gay Jews and where they fit into the community. And now they've started listing gay Jewish events in their like official listing.
Yeah.
So it's not even like impartial
No.
third-person stories. Now they're listing gay events. I'm beginning to think the gay lobby controls the Jewish lobby.
Oh, this is and it may well have been that way since the beginning.
My sister, who used to, maybe about, I don't know how, a decade ago, Margaret Safran, if you're listening, please go to the guest book. Don't ring me at home. I don't think we've really got that kind of relationship where I want you to ring me on my home number. But just go to the Triple J guest list, Margaret. And also, Dad, if you're listening, I mean, I do have quite a busy day, and it really is a lot more convenient if you just go to the Triple J guest book and contact me through that. Anyway, she used to work at the Australian Jewish... You hassle me for reading it. My sister used to work there at the Australian Jewish News.
Oh, she produced it.
As a journalist. And she was in charge of the matchmaker column. Where, because people, this is before the internet kiddies, for RSVP. And you like send in a letter to the Jewish News and they'd keep on file your name, but they wouldn't put your name, publish it in, and there was a column in the Jewish News. And she said that some people had sent in a gay one or whatever, and they had an editorial meeting, and it was decided back then.
No.
But it's all changed, obviously, now, although there's no matchmaker column, do you think?
No.
And, just quietly, she used to always tell me at the Friday night Shabbos table if someone who I knew had sent in a anonymous matchmaker message.
There was a bit... She can't do that. It's
not ethical.
Not ethical. Except that whatever was mentioned inside the four walls on that night was sacred.
Well, I didn't have a radio show then. Now it wouldn't be sacred. If I could just sync it up. Margaret, if you can go back, get your job at the Jewish News, go over the matchmaker column, then squeal to me about everyone, and then I'll come on the radio show here and talk about
Hey, listen, on that TV show, Speaking in Tongues, I get people say to me, like they do say to you, what about that exorcism? They say to me, did the matchmaker segment ever produce people who got married? Now, we never intended, did we?
It was so unsuccessful, it barely led to people getting a date, especially not the men. A lot of the girls got heaps and heaps of contacts.
Even from the persons on the show. As I noticed, that's why it took so long to record the bloody sessions. But go on. So we never ended up with anybody who could claim that they had them. This marriage was made on Speaking in Tongues.
No, despite that.
All right.
Yes.
I can tell them that now.
I have a few.
No, none of that.
So you have got Father Bob was sent this week the DVD of his bumped Enough Rope with Andrew Denton.
Yeah, it's down to about 12 minutes.
And I will be watching this week.
You look at that and you tell... I can see now why I never got on, and that is because I couldn't shut my mouth. All right?
And what have you learned from that, Father Bob?
I've learned to shut my mouth for money. All right? But I can get that down to 4 minutes.
Yes.
And have a little discreet fundraising segment that goes straight at your throat. That's what I'm going to do.
For Open Family?
For Open Family, for my foundation. The Father Bob Maguire Foundation.
This is actually, we can talk to Tripod about this. With
what?
Because Tripod have the thing where there's Tripod, the band, but one of them is in another band, and how they separate their thing. How do you decide when you're doing something whether you should be focusing on the Father Bob Foundation or the Open Family?
Because Open Family got a bit sick of me. Open Family admits I'm the founder. Open Family doesn't want to have all that much to do with me.
Really?
Because I asked too much of them. I wanted them to grow quicker and faster. All right?
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why I had to
Bombshell.
set up Father Bob Maguire
So you got
Foundation,
bumped
didn't
from,
I?
You got bumped
I'm
from
getting
Denton
bumped from every...
and bumped from a charity.
The only
Open
thing
Family,
I can't...
that you set up.
I don't get
How
bumped.
graceless. Because you're like the elder and you've got all the information.
Yes, I can understand the dynamic that, in fact, there's nothing worse than having an elder outlive the dynamism of the movement.
I can imagine they're all in their snappy suits
very
with their
snappy.
yuppie
Yeah, exactly.
1980s ponytails.
Yeah, looking at the old man in the corner and saying, "Look, he's dribbling into his tea bags." And yeah, be that as it may, I'd be grateful if you look at. Hey, we won't put it up for the kiddies later because Mr. Denton said I could use it on YouTube and on my website. See what I mean?
We'll be talking to the aforementioned
We
tripod.
should do this live on television.
This now.
Yeah. This should be on, what do you call that thing of theirs? Triple J's television.
JTV.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Is it
bad time to bring it
right.
up, Bob. It's
All
a
right.
bit awkward. I've got some contractual
Righto,
things with SBS.
righto.
It's pretty complicated.
Righto. Just raising the political issue.
Okay, we'll talk more after this. Tripod are running 5 minutes late
All right.
because they're, you know...
Well, they've only got 3 legs. Listen, what about this and explain it to me?
Okay.
A Milanese firm has introduced...
Milanese?
Milanese?
Melanese, as in not Polynesian, but Melanesian.
Milan.
Oh, Milan. But not like the hat makers.
No. Milanese. People who live in the city of Milan.
What are the hat makers? They're milliners.
Milliners. My sister was a hat maker.
Your
She was a milliner. God rest her soul.
What did she...
She used to make beautiful... We had an old block that sits in the kitchen.
Yes.
Shape of a human head. And she used to fit all these hats, beautiful hats they were, by God. And in those days, they even used to stick pins, big pins, right through the crown of the hat with a fake, in our case, because we were poor, a fake, a pearl-looking thing at the end. I think it was called a bodkin. Bodkin, kiddies, you could use that for Scrabble. Bodkin. Anyway, Milanese firm has introduced downloadable sacred wallpaper for mobile phones.
Yeah.
A choice of protective images of 3 saints and for an extra fee, a prayer with them. Now, could you explain to me, John Safran, because I'm old, what is wallpaper for mobile phones?
I think it's just like a picture. Like on your phone, so when you look at it, there's like a picture of Justin Timberlake or Rihanna. Or, in this case, a golem or something.
A something saver. What do you call it on that over there? A space saver. What do you call them when you have pictures on that
screensaver.
Screensaver.
Something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, bloody fools. I thought there was more to it than that.
You can get the... I bought this week for 2 people, one in hospital, one for other reasons. I won't get into it.
No, don't go into it, for God's sake. What is it?
I bought them the red string with a protective Hamza evil eye on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
to protect them.
From what? From golden staff or something?
Yes.
But what about my phone, John, here? I know the kiddies don't like to hear it go off, but you see what the wallpaper is on that?
There's no wallpaper. Like that, because that phone is from
it
like
says
1970.
Open Family Uktalia. In Turkish, for God's sake, out of respect for our Turkish producer.
Did you have fireworks back in your days? Because it's become the new Hanukkah thing. Because Hanukkah is the festival where you have the candles. And this week, like, not every night, but pretty much every night of Hanukkah, there were Jews setting off fireworks up and down Carlisle Street.
I didn't know you're allowed to do that privately, were you?
It's the new thing.
I don't think you're allowed. It's illegal.
If the Sydney Morning Herald wants to do one of their ahead of the curve, what are the new trends type thing, now women are smoking cigars.
Yeah, but what?
They should talk. It's the new thing.
But Jewish people aren't exclusively surely setting off fireworks.
Yeah, little fireworks everywhere.
Oh, see how this is going to immediately raise the whole question of anti-Semitism.
In what way?
Because if we're going to have to write in the Herald Sun, persons of what persuasion
I don't
arrested for illegally firing fireworks.
They seem pretty small fireworks. I wouldn't get
Doesn't
worried.
matter what they are. You see what I mean? Are they jumping jacks? You don't know what a jumping jack is, John, do you? You set fire to them and they jump all over the street, they used to in the old days.
Oh, so you did have them in the old days?
We had them in the 40s. And we had sparklers that went around and around and around and around like that. We were that poor. They didn't go around too often, but they went around and around, that much, all right? And we did have skyrockets. You see what I mean? Tiny, thin. We put them in the I can see it now. Thank you for reminding me. In the top of the milk bottle, and off they went into the sky, fully 4 foot tall. That's as far as we could go, and fell to the ground. But you daren't do fireworks now. In fact, we're not going to have fireworks at the New Year, they reckon, because in fact some fool blew up the bloody factory or something. Or what do you call spontaneous combustion blew up the factory. Righto, that's enough of fireworks.
Coming up next, we have Tripod.
Religious Song of the Week.
Joining us are a trio of comedians, Scott, Jon and Gatesy. Tripod. Hello.
Hey there.
Howdy. I said
Funkiest music. It's great.
Yeah.
You're in a booth in what city?
We're in Adelaide at the moment, can you tell? Where are you?
Well, we're in Melbourne.
Oh, it's amazing technology, eh?
I'm in Perth.
He's in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm in limbo.
Now, which is who's the one who has the spin-off band that I saw at the Spiegel tent?
That would be me over here, Scott, with the glasses. How are you?
Has he sprung you?
And we did discuss after that gig about whether there was any tension with you.
Oh, there you are, Safran. Always putting the cat amongst the pigeons.
No. I was just wondering, like, if the other two go see your gig and then you do a song that conceivably could have been a song that you did for Tripod, and it's like, why did you say that for your solo thing? When we're doing Tripod and we're trying to throw together enough tracks to do a new show, you didn't offer up that song.
Well, strictly speaking, his side project's supposed to be not funny. So
Jon and I have a bit of a laugh.
I know what you're saying. But some of the songs, it's such a fine line. It's such a grey area. You know, because you have like bands like whatever, like They Might Be Giants, where they're on the one hand ostensibly not a novelty act and not a comedy act, but like at what point when you're talking about multicoloured snails crawling up the happy rainbow, at what point does that veer away from being mainstream to being a novelty song?
It's a good question, and I think you're right about it being a grey area.
I think Scott, though, can't keep away from being a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
Like, goofy's a word. I mean, in the universe, there are goofy songs.
In that band, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Tripod could easily... I don't think we necessarily were going to be comedians when we started. It just happened.
You can't tell me that song about, which is really good, by the way, that song about the lost dog. Is it a lost dog? Poster. That is a really good song, and it's basically you've constructed a song based on all the lines you've read on a lost dog poster stuck on a pole. You can't tell me that couldn't be like in a Tripod gig.
Yeah, I believe I pitched it to Yoni that could have been a Tripod song, and he went, "What? Nah."
Yeah, I stand by that.
And what about the other solo projects? I don't want to concentrate on all this solo projects, but the other two.
You are?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, look, we've had different solo projects from the beginning. We've had little bands.
Yes.
With, Jon's done some like solo shows, like one-man shows.
Yes. What? Oh, you mean the stand-up shows or the
stand-up show?
Mini musicals.
The mini musicals, man.
Now, I'm going to sound like a groupie because I've been both to the Spiegel tent to see that, but I was also on election day at the polling booth where you played. Was that a good gig?
Down in St Kilda Primary School. Well,
yes.
As far as election day primary school fate gigs go, it was one of the top 5.
And I think your manager was good because he managed to get you on after, not before, not opening for, but almost being the headline after the band that was 9-year-old kids doing Ramones covers.
Wasn't that great? 9-year-old kids singing "I Want to Be Sedated." That was brilliant. That made my day.
I like the original called Crazy Hair.
Crazy Hair.
Me and you got crazy hair. Sometimes people just stop and stare.
It's good. It really sticks in your mind. Yeah.
Now, you've got a Christmas show, Smaller Than Jesus,
Yep.
which is how it all
Yep.
ties in with this. Is it just a one-off, or are you touring it?
We're in the middle of touring it at the moment. We're in Adelaide for that very reason. We're doing it. We're doing it in Adelaide, Perth. We've done it in Brisbane. We've done it in Sydney,
and it's
of course Melbourne. We're going to finish in Melbourne.
Is it every song Christmas themed?
Not quite, but quite a few. Like we've probably got at least 10 Christmas ones anyway.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like if you've got like some funny thing and it doesn't quite fit into the theme, you can't resist it, even if it's wrecking the overall thing. I'll give you a good example. There was that comedy show called Nick Seed and the Bad Caves a few years ago, where it was all based around Nick Cave's life and all these funny things. And then for some reason, the guy who did it, what's the name of that guy? Do you know the guy? Anyway, he wanted to do a Peter Garrett impersonation, because obviously all his friends had told him he does a good Peter Garrett impersonation. No. So in this kind of really disciplined show all about Nick Cave, where it was all thing, he had the most tenuous justification for standing up dressed as Nick Cave to impersonate the guy from Midnight Oil. And it was just like, yeah. Anyway, I think just purely to like Christian and holiday issues.
Yeah, and we do the best tripod impersonation you've ever seen in your life, man. It's great.
Yeah. Now, the song from the show you'll be performing for our religious song of the week is...
Well, we usually don't say the name of it. Listen, we usually don't announce the name of our songs because sometimes they're the punchline. I don't know if this
I see what you mean. Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to then. You can just do what you want.
What's how we call this? While shepherds watch their flock by night. Although is there already a song called that?
No, there's another one where shepherds wash their socks by night.
Should have thought of that. We might use that tonight in the show, I reckon. Right. Do you want us to start?
Please do.
All right, here we go.
While shepherds watched their flock by night, they saw a shining star so bright, rejoicing as they saw the light. Rejoice, rejoicing as they saw the light.
I was the only shepherd who missed the star that night. I was watching the flock when the others saw the light. They all witnessed the celestial fire and rushed away to see the Messiah. I just did the job I was hired to do, so sue me, screw you, and don't ask me. About the birth of the chosen one, 'cause I was pulling a dag off a sheep to put you through school. I don't care what the other dad saw. I didn't see the birth of the Messiah at all. Just a little thing I like to call professional. But at least my sheep weren't in any danger. How many times must I explain to you that I'm the good dad and they're all shit dads? So don't ask me to tell you the story, son, about the birth of the chosen one. 'Cause I was out putting food on the table for you and your useless sisters. I was out busting my hump to raise a dowry for those vacuous sisters of yours, so they can marry the sons of all the shepherds who dine out each weekend on their bullshit stories. Those fancy pants, look at me, I saw God, star fuckers! We came to this country with nothing. I sacrificed everything for you, boy. Now you sit there and tell me I'm boring with your eyes. next time you speak to your mother, tell her I'm playing guitar again and writing her songs like I used to long ago. Now I'm asking you, come back and live here, son. I really miss you and your mom. I didn't witness the birth of that kid like her new boyfriend did. I forgot how to follow the stars.
And so the shepherd scaled back his working hours, got his priorities back on track, and learnt to dream again. Through the mysteries of Christmas, the shepherd had lost everything, but he had gained everything as well.
The Lord does things in less direct ways than sometimes you'd expect. He helps you learn by fucking your life. Rejoice, 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 rejoice in your empty house.
Wow. That's an epic.
Well done.
The sound of one hand clapping.
No, two.
Bob liked that.
One of mine and one of his.
Bob liked that. He's
I
particularly,
like that. I want
he
you to
sniggered a
come
bit
over
during the
and do it
swear
on
words.
Christmas Eve, I want. It'll brighten up our miserable lives. You can have the collection.
Not every Christmas story made it into the Bible, you know.
No. Most
Now,
Secondary characters.
Now, I have to ask you, because you were a key part of that ABC show Sideshow,
Yes.
and it's
yes,
folded
we were.
now, hasn't it?
It certainly has folded.
Do you have any, like, goss? Like, now that's folded and there's no consequence, you know, like once you leave a place and you just start, is there anything any juicy bits you can give me?
Paul McDermott, actually a girl. In this yeah, you heard it first.
All we know is that there were politics, and you know, we don't actually know the specifics of them. Like, we know who they were between, but we don't actually know what they were about.
Being ignorant does serve you in life,
Yeah.
I think. Just having absolutely no idea what's going on.
We're just the talent.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing to bear in mind as far as the action in that show is it was a very expensive show that no one was watching, so that could be a factor.
I still smell a conspiracy.
Yes, no,
That's
fair
your
enough.
job.
We don't know enough. They keep the cells separate, so we don't know anything. But you know what goes on.
The Tripod Christmas show is all over Australia, kind of, sorta.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Maybe
Melbourne,
only
the
left.
Corner Hotel.
That's it.
Thursday, the 20th of December at 7:30 p.m.
And can we thank you, Tripod, for coming on our show?
Sure, you can. Go for it.
Thank you. Can we also thank Andrew Knight? I'm not asking you permission to thank these other people. I'm just going to do it, okay? Can we thank Andrew Knight? Can we thank Allison Holland? Allison, who was accusing us that as soon as she left, we're going to bag her, because she's been listening to our show and she's picked up that we're always polite to the guests and then when they leave, we bag them. But Allison, we did not bag you, so up until now. And also, can we thank Kyle Hanna, station manager from Radio Salam Shalom. And thank you, Sir Pell, the Turkish Muslim producer, and thank you, Father Bob, and thank me. And thank you, listeners. You can go to triplej.net.au/Safran, go to the guest book, or you can download podcasts. And, okay, bye.
Triple J.